welcome back to Third Shot Podcast. Uncle Greg and I are at our studio in Las Vegas at our Dill Dinkers facility, and we've got another great episode in store for you. But before we get into it, please head on over to our social media, Instagram and Facebook at Third Shot Podcast, or on X at Third Shot Pod. You can also watch all of our episodes on YouTube. Just search Third Shot Podcast and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes.
You don't want to miss any, and you don't want to miss this one because we have the head of business development, Kaitlin Miller at Court Kings. They are the company that we are using to put in our cushion courts at our Dill Dinkers in Henderson, Nevada. So I can't wait to bring Kaitlin on and share the cool courts that we're going to have at our facility. Let's bring her in. Hey, Kaitlin, welcome to Third Shot Podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're very excited to have you and hear more about what you're doing with Court Kings. Also, to share your podcast as well and the content that you're creating. So let's do a little toast before we jump into it because there's so much to talk about to you and everything that you're doing in the pickleball world. Cheers.
Yes, cheers, guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best way to start a podcast.
There's no better.
I said, you got to show us what you're drinking over there.
Oh my gosh, guys. I am drinking the tears of my pickleball opponents.
I love it.
That is what my shot glass says.
I love that.
It's very accurate. You are a 5-0 plus player. So share with our audience how you first got introduced into pickleball and your involvement in it today.
Yeah, so I what used to be like a sports news entertainment broadcaster, moved around basically every 2 to 3 years, and I was in North Carolina at the time when COVID first started. And so I was in Greensboro, North Carolina, and my friends, we were all just like looking for something to do, and of course outside, and the weather was nicer over there. So we'd go like once a week and we would just play pickleball on the public courts there. And it was so much fun. We like started our own little league, and it was just something I did though, like once a week. And it wasn't until I moved to Nashville that I joined a local tournament. It was the first one that I've ever done. And I ended up doing well. And the people there were like, you should really start playing and join our crew. And I was like, okay, like I haven't been, competitive in something really since college. I was like, I would love that. And just a great way to meet people as I moved to Nashville, didn't know a soul when I moved there. And so, that's when I got my start. I started playing more and more. My biggest tournament of the year or ever was the US Open Pickleball Championships. And so I've been playing in that ever since, doing PPAs and a bunch of other national tournaments, and got really involved with that too, with broadcasting and seeing all the local, professional teams in Nashville really celebrate the sport and host all types of pickleball events. And then that's kind of what brought me to where I am today now as the head of business development with Court Kings, a court surfacing company, and just working with a lot of great brands like Dill Dinkers. And it's just been such a fun ride. And it's been so great to really find something that I'm passionate about as an athlete, but then also as like an entrepreneur, business person, content creator, the whole 9 yards, podcaster. So it's really been a life-changing journey, and I'm, just happy to be here and competing again at a high level.
So you are very high level as far as a pickleball player, but you've been an athlete going back. Talk us a little bit about like what you did growing up, what your sports were. And I'd love to get to your media background over at UCLA as well.
Yeah, so my mom was the type, like, since we were 2, 3 years old, she's like, "You're doing everything." And she, like, put us in gymnastics and ballet as little kids, and then growing up, I mean, I played soccer, softball, basketball, you name it, and then in high school, obviously, you kinda have to narrow down, so I did tennis, basketball, lacrosse, which is what I initially thought I was gonna go to college for. And then, interestingly enough, I actually got so burnt out my sophomore year, I quit. And the rowing coach came up to me in the hall in high school, found out that I quit lacrosse and was like, "Hey, if you join my rowing team and do as I say, I'll get you into any school you want to go to." And I was
Whoa.
like, "Wow, okay." And I love a challenge, and my dream was always to be a D1 athlete. And so, yeah, I literally did what he said, and I know it was the hardest, like, year and a half to catch up. I had to train 6 hours a day all summer that sophomore year. So I started spring of sophomore year. Summer joined his, like, national program where we went to the Canadian Henley and all these big national and international competitions. And then, that fall, winter, I was training with the guys before school and then the women after school just to get that erg time and everything to get recruited by, a top program where I wanted to go. And sure enough, the four schools that I took official visits at were my four dream schools. UCLA was never on my radar. And then I got a letter from them and I took the official visit, of course, because why not? I always wanted to live in
Yeah.
California at some point. And I literally came back from that official and I told my parents it felt like a dream and I'm going to go there. So,
Whoa.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing from not even knowing the sport at all at a sophomore to getting recruited and going to UCLA for rowing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and a public high school too. Like, who would have known, a public high school in Long Island, New York would have a really good rowing program, actually. Yeah, it was great. It was definitely life-changing.
And that's where you studied broadcast journalism, right? You had a very interesting story about your media studies at UCLA. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I mean, as I like sports was always my identity. That's all I ever wanted to do, whether at a competitive level or just at the beach with friends. I was always looking for a sport to play. And so, being a sports broadcaster, seeing people like Aaron Andrews and all the people I used to watch, earlier on, I was like, I want to be like them. But I didn't really know what capacity. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to work for a sports team, be on air, what sort of thing. And so that's why UCLA, I'm so happy that rowing brought me there because it was just a game changer as an athlete. I felt like I had so much access to things. And so I was actually an English major at UCLA because unlike USC, UCLA, which is crazy, did not have a broadcasting program. But I interned with Fox Sports my sophomore fall. And this guy, Greg Wolf, who also went to UCLA, was like, Kaitlin, like, you're an athlete there. Like, just ask them, like, just say you'll show up with your own camera, you'll edit, you'll just provide them content, like, just pitch something to them. Like, just be almost that was the start of me being like very entrepreneurial. And so, sure enough, I went up to the UCLA athletics office. I was like, knocking on the marketing department, knocking on the sports information department, like trying to figure out, okay, how do I meet all these admin people to see what I can do? And sure enough, they were so great. They're like, okay, like sure, if you have your own camera, like we could put this on YouTube. Let's start with like tennis, volleyball, and just see how that goes. And so that's what I did. I started with, tennis and volleyball. And then by senior year, I was covering like the UCLA blue carpet event and basketball and football training camp. And, I actually is really special. I just went back this past September and I saw some of the people who gave me that first opportunity. And I was like, I just want to thank you. Like, you guys were the start of everything for me. You gave me the resources when I was just a little college kid with a dream, and so that's really where I got the start and got all those on air reps and to get my first on camera job.
And then where did you go from there on camera?
I went to Missoula, Montana, was my first TV market. I was there for 2 years, then Greensboro, North Carolina, and then Nashville, Tennessee for the last three.
I have to share a quick story because I totally understand what you were saying. I went to college. I wanted to be sports broadcaster as well. Like I was, grew up sports, right? Played them all, knew them all. I could talk them all. And I went to a college that didn't have a program, right? Didn't,
Which is so tough.
which is so tough. And I did not have your initiative to actually do what you did, and I just fell back and did business. It worked out for me, but I
Yeah.
really wish I was doing what you did and actually got on camera, because I think that would just be so much fun. That like checks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, and you need that. I think that's what was so hard is like to get that first on camera job, even though it's in the middle of nowhere. Like they need to see you on camera. Like you need an on air reel. You need to sell yourself and sell your potential. And yeah, without that, I mean, what can you show? Like nothing. I mean, luckily now social media has changed everything because people are now with their tripods running around. You could do so much, which is great. But then you really needed to like have a camera, have a tripod and know how to edit and all of those things. So I'm grateful that UCLA Athletics allowed me to do that.
Yeah. And now you're still using some of those skills, but in a podcasting format. So
Yeah.
give a little plug about the pickleball podcast that you run.
Yeah, so my podcast is called Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. And essentially, what it is just all the untold amazing stories of people in the pickleball industry, whether it's pros, business leaders, people in the community with a cool story about how pickleball has changed their lives. I have people that literally lost almost 200 pounds from picking up this sport and being in a better mental and physical state, to a guy that had no legs and one arm and figured out a way to play pickleball. And so I just feel like this is, and just traveling around talking to people now in the industry, like everyone has their story as to why pickleball changed their lives and why they're in the industry out there on the courts playing again. And I just think like, you can't hear enough of them. And so it's kind of similar to what you guys are doing and just showcasing how powerful this sport really is.
Yeah, we are big proponents of how pickleball helps mental health. Like that's one of
Yes.
the things that we kind of resonate with. And so I'm curious, like, have you had guests on that, pickleball has kind of changed them, helped them from a mental point of view?
Oh, totally. Like I people who have overcome, they were getting divorced and they really lost their identity and it was hard to almost, get out of bed every day. And then the father I had who lost almost 200 pounds and he's like, it was so sad. I could barely like run around with my like child. And now I'm out on the pickleball court playing for hours a day. And he's like, I'll never go back. And so I just think or people that just are feel so isolated, especially after
Yeah.
COVID, which is when most of us found pickleball and this gives them a sense of community. I mean, that's what it changed my mental health because I was in Nashville working the evening news Monday through Friday night, which could be so isolating because from 2 to 11 p.m., I was at work, whereas all my friends were at work from like 8 to 6. And so, what was I doing all morning? I didn't want to like waste my morning away and sleep. I wanted to be around people and not just be by myself all the time during the week. And so that enabled me. I found a group that played either 8 to 10 a.m. or 9 to 11 a.m. And that saved me in a lot of ways too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's also afforded you this great career opportunity as well as the head of
Yes.
business development for Court King. So tell us more about what that means to be the head of business development.
Yeah, that honestly, it's so funny because if you would have asked me a few years ago if I ever thought I'd be sitting here telling you about what I'm doing now, I just wouldn't believe it. And it's a funny story. I was in Lifetime in Nashville or in Franklin, just outside of Nashville, and Rich, our CEO, approached me and was like, we're starting this business in the pickleball world. Would love to grab coffee with you. And we went with the other co-owner, Nate, and I just thought they were like picking my brain and stuff, and they're like, no, we really want to bring you on. And I was like, you guys are nuts. Like, I am not giving up a 7-year broadcasting career to do something like in the pickleball world and all this stuff. And so it was great. They worked with me. I started part-time just doing, a few hours a week with them, and I just loved it because, Court King, so we're a nationwide court surfacing company. So we do the courts for a lot of big franchises like Dill Dinkers, Pickleball Kingdoms, Crush Yards, etc., across the country. But what's great is I feel like our company, everyone's like a 4 or 5 plus player. And what we say is we really like help build communities nationwide. So it's like, that's how I met Greg here. We like to really develop relationships with the people we work with. I like to visit the facilities, play with them, and meet them. And I think that's what really resonated with me. It's like we're not just in and out. We, become friends with these people, and we also do a lot of content too, which is fun, which helps the facility. It also just, keeps me. I have a creative way to like help build our brand and stuff like that. And so that's been great. And another part of my role is sales, obviously getting the leads, getting the new business. So get like developing the relationships with all these facility owners, but also the partnerships, which I love. It's like, how can we help each other and just, both win in this pickleball world? And so that's been really special too.
Well, we've been bragging, like in the Las Vegas market, we've been bragging about the courts that we're going to put in at our Dill Dinkers because I think we're going to have the best courts in either
Yes.
indoor or outdoor space here
Oh, yeah.
because we're going with the Pro Cushion. And I want everybody to know from you what is special about the Pro Cushion courts.
Yeah, I mean, Pro Cushion to me, so for people who don't know, it's a mat. So under the acrylic coating, you actually have a mat, which makes it so much easier on your body when you're playing. And so, especially when you're in a big facility too, if you go, right with the acrylic on the concrete, it can be tough. Like you can feel it after 2 hours. I've played on those surfaces where it's just regular acrylic and you're feeling tight, your body's hurting, whereas when you're on the cushion surface and you don't even feel it, it's like the same bounce. And I can vouch as a 5-0 player. And you just the day after, 2 days after, your body just feels like way less sore. And I like to say I'm still young and I feel it on my body when I'm not on a cushion surface. So yeah, I mean, you guys, I'm so excited to see your facility and for you guys to have those Pro Cushion. I mean, that is the premium court. So I think people in Las Vegas are going to be very happy.
Yeah, we're very excited.
We
And I
can't have,
want to echo.
I want to toast to these courts because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
truly what you guys are doing at Court Kings with these Pro Cushion courts are like unmatched.
And look, this is going to be the tier of your opponents because you guys are going to
Yeah,
have the best courts.
I love that. Cheers.
So cheers to that.
Sorry, Bridgie, I cut you off for that toast because
Oh, that is
I
okay.
just that was the moment I'm like, come on, we have the courts.
Exactly. Well, I just was going to say that I wanted to echo the point of there's no bounce difference. You heard it from a player herself, Kaitlin. She is vouching that there is no difference in the bounce because that is a common concern or skepticism that I hear from people is on the cushion courts. Oh, it's not going to bounce the same or it's going to mess up my game. But I think
Well,
with
I
these
think
courts,
everybody
it
compares them to
enhances
like
it.
when those mats get rolled out on a gym
Yeah.
floor or something like that, and they think,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be like that. They've never played on Pro Cushion courts
I
before.
was just going to say the biggest misconception is people when you say cushion course, they think you're literally showing up to a cushion and it's going to look different, feel different. Almost I feel like people envision it as like this like bouncy sort of surface like you're saying like a rollout type thing. Like no, these are permanent courts. You actually would not know unless, like you're literally not going to know because the acrylic coating which everyone plays with goes on over it. And so your body will know, but you watching and looking at the courts and playing on them, the way it bounces, the way it feels, not a difference at all. So, yeah, that's the biggest misconception, I would say.
Yeah, I had people when when I brag about it, I was like, yeah, we're putting them cushion courts, right? And then people go, oh, yeah, I tried playing on a cushion court before and it was just squishy. And I'm like, what kind of courts did you play on? And they would, and basically I dug deeper and it was just like those rollout things that they do at,
Right. Like over,
parks or
yes,
bars or those types
yes.
of things, right? It's very temporary. And then I have to explain, no, the technology, it's there. It's like you're just going to feel so much better on your body. And I'm an older player. And when I play 2 or 3 hours, even just one time on a regular court, my back, my knees,
Oh yeah.
my ankles, they feel it. And I've played on the cushion courts now, and I play for 2 days straight, and my body doesn't feel nearly as bad as one day on a regular court.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. There's been cases where I've played just a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days in a row, and I literally had to, like, almost take a week off because I have back problems. Like, I've had 2 back surgeries. I also have, like, a partially torn ACL. So I literally, like, my body, it's so weird, like, will actually physically hurt for days, after that. So that's why, yeah, if it was me and my courts, I would definitely go the cushion route for sure.
Well, we can't wait. And you had mentioned that you like to come out to clubs for the ones that you have installed floors for. So,
Yeah.
any chance that we can get you out to Las Vegas for our club opening?
Oh, I would love that. I was telling you guys, I think earlier, like I always have the best time in Vegas. And I
It's
can't
hard
wait.
not to.
And I mean, how can you not? And just like the weather, the dry air too. Like I'm like every time I get off the plane, I'm like, thank goodness I'm here. And then
Right.
obviously with your, amazing courts and your amazing facility, it's like you have the courts, the premium courts, you have a great location. People want to be in Las Vegas. They're happy to be there. And I think one of the first pro cushion facilities in Las Vegas, right?
Right. Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge milestone to celebrate. So, yeah, I would love to come and join for the grand opening.
All right. So you're gonna partner with me in some mixed doubles. So we're gonna
Yeah, we're
we're
going
gonna
to kill it.
hustle. We're gonna hustle somebody that
We
thinks they can
will. We
take us. So
will for sure.
as
Yes.
long as you cover 80% of the court for me, we're great. We're in great shape.
Yes. We'll do King of the Court and we won't ever leave.
We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. And you and Bridgie gonna play some women's and just tear them up.
Yes,
Yeah, you'll be
yes.
my
Oh my
ringer for
gosh.
sure.
That would be so fun. I would love that.
So tell everybody about, plug the podcast and Court Kings before we let you go.
Yeah, so I mean, at Court Kings, we just partnered with USA Pickleball. We're now the preferred court builder there. We're working with so many of the major franchises like Dill Dinkers. We also do independent facilities, HOAs, country clubs, really trying to specialize in anything, that have 2 or more courts, 2 to really 14, 20 courts, whatever, your dream is situation. And we also, what's great about us is we're a one-stop shop. So we offer consulting services. As I said, we're all 4 or 5 plus players. We've partnered now with the top manufacturers in the business. So cushion courts, non-cushion courts, all 5 of the top manufacturers, we can offer and install those surfaces. And then we install the nets, and fencing is something that just makes it easy to work with us. And then as a perk too, we give you 2 free promotional videos to drive membership and excitement before you're even open. And it's really fun to show the construction process from, when it's first starting to your completed amazing courts. So definitely check us out. We're on Instagram. We have our website, courtkings.com. You can reach out to me as well. I'm on Instagram. And then my podcast is Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. So, yeah, if you have a cool story, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to see you on my podcast or give us a follow so you can listen to some amazing stories in the pickleball world.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us. We can't wait to have you out to Vegas. We can't
Yeah.
wait to have the team out installing the courts. We're gonna have so much content because that's one of my like pleasures. Like when I see courts being laid, and that paint goes out and it
It's
gets
so
smoothed out.
exciting.
I like I could watch that all day long. I like it's the
I
most it's the most pleasurable thing for me to see.
I know, no, it is that's the best feeling is just like even seeing like sometimes we'll do time lapses too and they'll speed it up and it's just like, wow, that's so cool. Like how that all comes together and then to be playing on it for the first time. I think that's what's so special when you guys see people walking through your door playing on the cushion courts for the first time, you're going to be like, wow, I really, did this. I put this all together. So I'm so excited for you guys.
That's gonna
Thank
be that aha surreal moment. Is like, oh,
Yes. I
oh,
love that's my favorite part, like working with all the franchisees and club owners. It's like seeing that, like watching you guys react, it makes me so happy. So I'm excited to see it.
as long
you.
as it
Can't
makes the ball go over the net more often for me somehow. Yeah.
wait.
Yes.
Well, thanks again, Caitlin, for coming on Third Shot with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. That was so much fun.
That was so much fun having Caitlin on with us.
Yeah, she is really like kicking butt in the
Yes,
pickleball world. I feel like she's got a podcast. She's head of business operations or development.
yeah. No, she's
Amazing.
got it going on. I mean, what a career so far. And it's still just,
Such a
probably at the
strong
beginning.
athlete. Oh my god.
I know. I can't even imagine just,
Yeah.
a coach saying, "Hey, I'll just turn you into a rower and you'll get a scholarship to a D1 school." That like you're an athlete when somebody just
And
says
then does.
and it happens. Exactly. But yeah, when we
Exactly.
have our courts in, oh my, it's just perfect.
Yep. Well, speaking of courts, let's
Yeah.
talk shoes. Because I'm going to be out on the court very soon for this league of mine, and I am on the
Right.
market for some new pickleball shoes,
Okay. What
and
have
I
you
need
looked
some
at so far?
recommendations. Well, my old ones were Asics, which
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have any complaints about. They were good and they lasted me quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's something that's better that someone could recommend, or if you have any recommendations too, I would love to try something new, or maybe go expand my horizons on brands that I haven't heard of. Because really, what I'm looking into, I've been seeing Selkirk shoes,
Right.
Asics, Skechers,
Mm-hmm.
and On Cloud, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
called. They
Mm-hmm.
just came out with a pickleball shoe as well. So those are kind of like the top ones that I've been saying in my research. But do you have any recommendations?
Well, I do have one that you have not mentioned so far, and I have tried Asics, I have tried Skechers, and I've tried K-Swiss. But my
Mm.
favorite shoe so far, and I just happen to have one with me, is
Mm.
Winner's Edge. And what's cool about Winner's Edge is got like, you know how when you play pickleball, you're always rubbing your toe,
Yes, I
and
see
it gets
what's going
all
on.
gets beaten up at the toe, right, the big toe area, and they put extra rubber support on the toe area, so I like that. And the other part that I like is it has an inner sock that it keeps your foot from sliding inside the shoe.
Mm.
And I've noticed that with other shoes is like when if it doesn't fit like really perfect, my foot moves a little bit inside the shoe, and I don't know if that's really good for your foot, right? It's probably not safe. So I
Yeah.
like the inner sock that it has. And one of the other things I like about this shoe is my foot and the toe area, it's wide enough. It doesn't pinch, your
That's what I
foot. And
need. Yeah.
is that what you need? Yeah. And I heard that shoes that pinch for pickleball, like when you're playing and shoes that pinch the front of your foot, is bad for your ankles and calves. Supposedly
Oh,
it puts more of a strain on your calves and ankles when your foot at the front by the toes doesn't have enough room. So it needs to be wide enough, but snug, right? So it's
mhm.
not sliding up there. So all of those things, these Winter Edge shoes, and Auntie found them for me. She did some research and she found that some of the pros went over to this Winter's Edge brand and were raving about it. So I've been trying it now for 3 months and love them.
I'll have to check it out. Does the
Yeah,
price compare to the other like big brands?
it was a present from Auntie, so I don't
Okay,
know.
so
I did
you don't
not
know.
price it.
I will do my own research.
You're gonna have to do your research on the pricing side of it. Um, I did like my Skechers. I thought my Skechers had a nice arch. If you like arch
Mm,
support, the Skechers had a good arch support in them.
okay. Oh, I knew you'd
So,
have some great advice for me.
so little
Now I gotta go
feedback.
shopping.
Let's go shopping together.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm
go
always
shoe
down for
shopping.
pickleball shopping.
Oh, I know. When you got me my first pickleball shoes, we went shopping, and I think that day I got the Asics.
Yep, and you got two pairs because they were having such a great sale.
Yep, that's the beauty of the outlets in Las Vegas. They got great
That's
sales
I don't think I'll find the winner's edge at the South
at the
Premium
outlets.
Outlets in Las Vegas, but we might be able to try on some other ones.
Well, I will wear these to go shopping, and then I will do some
Oh yeah,
comparison.
you can compare. Okay, okay, we
Okay.
got a plan.
But either way, whatever you choose, you're gonna look good on those new courts we're gonna put in.
Oh heck yeah, my shoes will last me with all the playing I'll be doing.
Yep. Well, let's do a final toast to getting new shoes
Yep.
and our future playing pickleball.
Cheers.
Cheers. So thank you everybody for joining us today at Third Shot, where Bridgie and I will continue to share our pickleball journey. A real special thanks to Kaitlin. She's fantastic. And if you want to learn more about pickleball courts and what Court Kings does, go to courtkings.com. That's their website. And on Instagram, they're courtkings.co. And please check out Kaitlin as well on Instagram. She's got some fantastic content and learn a little bit more about her podcast. You can find her on Instagram at Kaitlin, spelled Kaitlin underscore Miller, Millerr, two R's at the end there. But look up Kaitlin Miller, and she's got some fantastic content. I know you're going to enjoy it. We promise to have more amazing guests just like Kaitlin on Third Shot for future episodes, and let's continue to share our enjoyment for the game and grow this pickleball community together. See you next time on Third Shot Podcast.